Good evening, good evening, good evening. I welcome all of you to this night number 8. Yes, this is second last session of our tax Navratri batch, and I hope you have enjoyed all the sessions till now and you have gained a lot through them. And I'm so happy that all of you have given me feedback in last few days. It's a very good feedback that you have given me after every session, so I'm really thankful to you for that. And those who are watching recordings, you have never told me whether you're following the things or not following the things, and how you are getting anything out of this session, or how you are feeling about tax after these sessions. So those watching recordings also, please do let me know. Yes, you all are also my students, so you should also let me know. So today's topic of discussion, as you know, is advanced tax and TDS. You are well aware of that? Yes. So shall we proceed our discussion with advanced tax and TDS? Those watching live, can you please just switch on your cameras? I can see Chaitanya, I can see Ankush, I can now see Pushottam also, and Shraddha also, and even Darshan, and even Prachi. Now by face I know your names. Yes. And even Pri. Right? So shall we start with today's session? Are you all set for TDS topic? Achha. Let's start. You can see my screen because we are going to use the screen today. But before that, why should we learn TDS? We should learn TDS because, of course, it is in syllabus of CA Intermediate, CS Executive, and sometimes maybe ask for CS Professional also. So obviously, yes, for that reason. Further, practically 98% of the transactions will have TDS, tax deducted at source. It's a play between payer and payee. Okay. As a payer, one university wants to pay me 1 lakh rupees because I have given some professional services to them. Did you understand, Darshan? I gave them professional services, so they want to pay me 1 lakh rupees. So 1 lakh rupees is what? It's an expense for them and it's an income for me. So government says that payer, that is in our example, that university is liable to deduct tax at source at 10% if the aggregate of professional fees during the financial year is going to exceed rupees 30,000. Okay, I am not here willing to tell you anything about TDS on professional fees, but my intent is to tell you what is the meaning of the word payer. What is the meaning of the word payee? Payer is also called as deductor. Payee is also called as deductee. Nature of payment in our example is professional fees. Okay, and 30,000 in our example is threshold limit, and 10% in our example is normal rate of TDS. So क्या सबको सब कुछ समझ में आ गया? मैंने अभी क्या बोला? Did you all understand what I said just now? So when we are learning provisions of TDS, we should understand that which all nature of payments are covered in TDS. That thing we should understand. Second, we should understand that what's of course the section number for that, what is the normal rate of TDS, what is the threshold limit, who is the deductor. All these aspects of every type of payment we should understand, and that is the main agenda for today. In CA Intermediate, it has got a very good weightage of about 5 marks minimum, and same for CS Executive. And for CS Professional, they might ask sometime this question. Okay, and of course important for CMA exams as well as CA final exam and in practical life also. Okay, so shall we start? I have done one chart. You must have got that chart in notes for students. Class discussions, I have updated the class discussions Excel file with you. Okay, discussions in tax Navratri batch I have updated for you. You must have taken it down from the drive. Okay, so I am focusing here on all aspects of TDS. This is our 8th session as I discussed with you. There are how many points about which we have to discuss? There are 26 payments about which we have to discuss. Yes, correct Prachi. 26 payments के बारे में हमें डिस्कस करना है. श्रद्धा, we have to discuss about 26 payments. Let's start. It all starts with section 192. 192 is salary. So what type of columns we have made to understand this TDS? Section number is first column. Next column is threshold limit. Next column is who is the payer, who is the payee, right? What is the normal rate of TDS and at what point of time the tax should be deducted at source. So we are starting first of all with salary. So friends, when any employer pays salary to employee, it is mandatory to deduct tax at source under this section 192. Okay, don't ask me what is the rate of TDS in this, because the percentage is not directly defined. Even threshold limit is not directly defined. If Ankur's salary is 15 lakh rupees, Prachi's salary is 10 lakh rupees, Chaitanya's salary is 25 lakh rupees, as an employer, I will have to compute what exactly is your income tax liability. Your income tax liability for the year, I will divide by 12 and that much will be TDS each month. Did you understand? So does section 192 talk about any percentage of TDS as such? No. Okay, does it talk about any specific threshold limit? No. If employee's income is such that it exceeds basic exemption limit and tax is payable for employee, then it is duty of employer to deduct it at source and give it to the employee. Agreed? So this is your section 192. 192 goes 2 steps ahead, and what it says, you know, it says that if assessee declares his house property income, income from other sources, donations, deductions of ATC like PPF, LIP, in that situation, that also will be considered by employer, and employer will calculate exact total income of employee and exact tax liability of employee, and that much will be TDS amount. So what happens, Darshan? Your exact tax liability amount is deducted by employer, and when at the end of the year, that is in the assessment year, you sit to calculate your tax and file the return, you don't have to pay any self-assessment tax. Say your tax payable was 85,000 and employer must have deducted full 85,000 during the year. So your self-assessment tax payable is 0. Do you have a total tax liability? Answer is yes, 85,000. But you got that much salary less, and that was directly paid to the government by your employer. Agreed? So क्या होता है, what happens because of TDS? Lot of transparency comes into picture. Now government does not have to run behind Darshan. Government can just run behind employers and check whether employers have done TDS. So obviously employers will do TDS to be out of any problems. You know what problem happens if employers don't do TDS? We discussed, if any payer does not deduct tax at source which he was liable to deduct, then 30% of the expense is disallowed. We have seen day before yesterday in topic of PGBP. Agreed, na? Yes. Or deducts but does not deposit, same type of issue happens. So better they will do the compliance. For government it will be easy to collect tax in this way, because government cannot trust individual assessees, but it can trust employers. Okay, let's go ahead. 192A is premature withdrawal from employee provident fund. So here we are talking basically about, here we are basically talking about RPF, recognized provident fund, because when we talk about SPF, then withdrawal from SPF is fully exempt. Okay, now what happens if within 5 years you withdraw the amount from RPF, then that becomes taxable. Who will deduct tax at source? Trustee of this EPF scheme. When will they deduct tax at source? If the payment or sum of payment is 50,000 or more, okay, then TDS will be done. Normal rate of TDS will be 10%. So remember this, not that important, but please still remember 192A. Then friends, going to 193. What is 193? It is interest on securities. What is security? We are talking about financial instruments like debentures, bonds. So interest on these securities is income of the payee. You agree? And so if that income is exceeding 10,000 in case of interest on 8% savings bond, then TDS will be done at 10%. And in any other case it will be, yes, 5,000. In short, friends, there are two threshold limits in this case. One is the general threshold limit for interest on debentures, which is 5,000, and another is, yes, very specific threshold limit for interest on 8% saving bonds, and that threshold limit is 10,000. Darshan, what is the significance of threshold limit? Significance is that if interest on debentures you are getting, say, 6,000 rupees, then TDS will happen not on 1,000 but on entire 6,000. It is not exemption limit, it is threshold limit. So when amount exceeds that limit, TDS happens on the entire amount. Is it clear to all of you? ये अनूप एंड चैतन्य ने नो क्यों बोला है? वो पहले वाले किसी क्वेश्चन के लिए. For the earlier some question I had asked you, I think you have replied no. Okay. Now you are replying ho. Acha. Ho in Marathi means yes. Let me tell all. Okay. Dividend. What is dividend? I mean, dividend to you know, it is share of profit of company. So when on your investment in shares you get dividend, just 2 years back dividend was fully exempt, dividend from domestic company. But now what is the situation? Dividend is taxable. So friends, it is taxable under the head income from other sources. So government says that the payer company should do TDS. Okay, normally at 10%. Agreed? One point you have to keep in mind always, no threshold limit. Threshold limit in dividend is only in very specific case. Okay, that is by mode other than cash. Means it's a very unusual case. It's a dividend by way of distributing assets. So it's a deemed dividend. So only for that threshold limit is 5,000. Otherwise, whatever normal dividend you get, there is no threshold limit. So Prachi, I have seen if particular of my client is getting dividend of 10 rupees also, then 1 rupee is TDS, because there is no threshold limit. It's a bit headache, Chaitanya, but there is no threshold limit. As soon as company makes payment of dividend, they have to do TDS at 10%. Agreed? Darshan, agreed? You can check, if you are investing in shares, you can check your, you get intimation with respect to dividend. You can check that. And you can check in your Form 26As also. Form 26As reflects all the TDS that has happened for you. Okay, so in that you will find under 194 there will be lot of dividends, lot of TDS on dividends, because every share on which you are getting dividend there will be TDS irrespective of the amount. Good, very good. 194A is one of the critical sections. Okay, 194A is one of the critical sections. Who all are the participants? Let me check before that. Aditya, Akshata, are you following? Falgun, Krisha, Nikhil, Nishigandha, Pri, Shraddha is there, Sushmita, Suvetha. Are you all following? Yes, more and more students may switch on their cameras. Right now I can see Chaitanya. I cannot see someone. Prachi, Shraddha, Darshan, and Ankush. Ankush. I always get confused. Yes. Ankush, sorry. Chalo, we'll go ahead now. Now comes 194A. What is 194A? It is interest other than interest on securities. Means you did, Sushmita, you did FD with bank. So bank is paying you interest. So for you, Sushmita, it is an income. Yes, on that there will be TDS. If that amount of interest on FD is exceeding 40,000 in a financial year, and if assessee is senior citizen, then 50,000. Agreed? Yes. And if it is interest on any other loan, means friends, Sushmita has not done FD. Sushmita actually has given unsecured loan to me, and I am paying her interest. Then what is the limit? Then limit is only rupees 5,000. So will you be able to remember threshold limit? In dividend there is no threshold limit. In interest on securities there is threshold limit of 5,000. In case of interest on debentures, in case of EPF, that is provident fund, 50,000 rupees. In case of salary, the basic exemption limit is the threshold limit. Yes, because as such threshold limit is not given in case of salary. Good. And here in 194A, interest other than interest on securities, if it is interest from bank, then threshold limit is 40,000. If it is interest from bank but to senior citizen, then it is 50,000. And if it is interest from any other assessee, limit is only 5,000. Mind you, all limits are annual limits. Okay. Very important point in 194A is who is the payer. So you will say payer is bank. No, it is not so obvious. If I am doing business and I have taken loan, then I will be paying interest. Yes. Now, if my books of accounts have such turnover, my business or my profession has such turnover in last year, okay, where tax audit eligibility turnover I am exceeding, means yesterday only we discussed, day before yesterday, 1 CR in case of business / 50 lakhs in case of profession. If such turnover I have, then as an individual, I am also covered as a payer. So what is the intention? Intention, Suvetha, is that to bring under the net of the payers all persons, but exclude whom? Such individuals and HUF whose turnover is less. बस उनको प्रॉब्लम नहीं देना है कंप्लायंस का. Agreed? What is the rate of TDS? It is 10%. So I will tell you one situation. One individual just started business. So last year his turnover was 0. And he has taken one unsecured loan from his friend. And to his friend he is paying interest of 15,000 during the year. Should he do TDS? He should not do TDS. Why he should not do TDS? Just started business. So he is such individual whose turnover in last financial year is less than 1 crore. I hope, Darshan, you understood. Suvetha, you understood. No one answered in the chat window. Hence I am asking you. Did you understand? One more, yes, one more example I will put to you. Same businessman individual, yes, same businessman individual, this second year of his business or rather third year of his business, but in second year he does turnover of say 1.5 CR and now also he is paying interest. Now should he do TDS? Yes, he should do TDS if the interest paid to particular party is more than rupees 5,000 during financial year. And the TDS should be at what percent? It should be at 10%. Wonderful, wonderful. Then friends comes winning from lottery, crossword puzzle, card games, okay, or games of any other sort, and also winning from horse races. Both I am going to cover together. One is given in 194B, other is given in 194BB. BB nahi, BB, double B. So point is, the rate of tax in these transactions, you know, Shraddha, rate of tax in these transactions under 115 BB is 30%, and they have kept same as the percentage of TDS. Simple. And threshold limit is rupees 10,000. So I won a lottery of say 2 lakh, then TDS will be rupees 60,000. Agreed all of you? Yes, मैं बक 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 जो कर रहा हूं आपको समझ में आ रही है? Yes. Okay, good, very good. 194C. What is 194C? 194C is basically very important. C for contractor. So payment is done to contractor, and the threshold, there are two types of threshold here. One is for single payment, the threshold is 30,000, and for sum total of payments during the year, threshold is 1 lakh. Means what? My company has given one time contract to catering agency and they give me bill of 30,000 rupees or say 32,000 rupees. Is TDS required to be done? Yes, because amount exceeds 30,000. So only once in a year I have given them contract because we had some type of annual general meeting or some type of annual function. So for catering at that occasion, I gave them contract. So yes, TDS should be done. Second question to you is, there is a security agency to whom a contract is given to provide security guards, and the payment each month is 25,000. Should we do TDS? Yes. Why yes? Because 25,000 into 12 rupees 3 lakh is happening during the whole year. So aggregate of payments in the year exceeds 1 lakh. So there should be TDS. Agreed? And I will say who is the payer, same as 194A. Means any person except dash and dash, individual and HUF. But we will cover those individual and HUF also who are doing good in business / profession. How will you identify good in business / profession? Depending on last year's turnover. Okay. Then friends, here the rate of TDS is very important. Okay. At what percentage will you do TDS? So it will be only at 1% if the person who is getting payment, means payee, is individual or HUF. But if payee is any other person, it is 2%. Is it clear to all of you? Please let me know in the chat window. Wonderful, wonderful. So friends, I'll give you one example. Okay, listen carefully to this example. I'm individual. My turnover in last year was exceeding 1 crore. This year, I am making contract payment to a HUF amounting rupees 75,000. TDS should be at what percentage? Very good, Prachi. TDS should be, yes, Nikhil, very good, rupees 750, and it should be at 1%. Wonderful. And if the person to whom payment is made was private limited company, then TDS would have been at 2%. Yes, wonderful. Shall we go ahead? So you understood. आप तो एकदम मैच्योर्ड ऑडियंस हो, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं. यस, वंडरफुल. 194D इंश्योरेंस कमीशन. ओके, जो इंश्योरेंस एजेंट्स होते हैं ना, those insurance agents are getting insurance commission. If that insurance commission is exceeding 15,000 in a financial year, then the rate of TDS will be 5% while getting payment. समझ में आया? So there is an insurance agent. Okay, that insurance agent is, say, getting commission of, say, 1 lakh rupees. Then what will be the TDS? TDS will be rupees dash what? क्यों इतना टाइम लग रहा है? What is the rate of TDS here? In 194D. In 194D, rate of TDS is 5%. तो 5000 होगा. वेरी गुड. मे बी आप तो स्लो नहीं हो, मे बी नेट स्लो होगा, इसलिए आपके आंसर स्लो आ गए. सी आई एम बीइंग सो पॉजिटिव. ओके, चलो, आई होप यू गॉट इट. देन 194DA. 194DA is not so popular, but it is linked to section 1010D. Means if your maturity proceeds of life insurance are going to get taxable, then the insurance company, while making payment to you, should do TDS. ओके, आपका LIC का पॉलिसी है जो मैच्योर हो गया, एंडोमेंट पॉलिसी है, मीन्स यू आर अलाइव एंड यू आर गेटिंग द मनी. सो in that case they should do TDS. Okay, if that amount of income involved is exceeding rupees 1 lakh, TDS should be done at 5%. Okay, मैं आपको उसके एग्जाम्पल्स देता हूँ. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, कब ये टैक्सेबल होता है? ये टैक्सेबल तभी होता है when premium paid is in excess of 10% of sum assured. Yes, आपको क्या देखना है? What you have to check for this? You have to check for this understanding of 80C. In 80C, how much of premium paid on policies allowed? So if excessive premium is paid, then friends, the inflow for the policy holder from LIC becomes taxable. And when it becomes taxable and the income element is exceeding 1 lakh, then TDS on that should be done at 5%. Okay, तो ये थोड़ा डिटेल आपको और कल समझेगा when we do 80C. Then friends, 194E. 194E is more related with an international transaction. क्रिस गेल, स्टुअर्ट ब्रॉड, ये सब प्लेयर्स इंडिया में आए, IPL खेले, they played IPL in India. So now the franchisee is making payment to non-resident sportsmen. Many examples, जॉस बटलर, जो भी आपके पास examples, तो you have lot of examples. राशिद खान from Afghanistan. So government says do TDS on their income. Why do TDS on their income? You know their incomes are arising in India because IPL matches are happening in India, organized by BCCI. Payment is done by franchisee which is Indian. So please do TDS, they say, at the rate of tax applicable for the sportsman. And mind you, rate of tax applicable for the sportsman under section 115 BBA is 20%. And ये एक लौता ऐसा section है, this is only such section where Chaitanya, they say you should do TDS including cess, health and education cess. That's why Darshan, can you see awkward percentage of 20.8? ऐसा पॉइंट में तो ना ही कॉन्ट्रैक्टर में देखा है, ना ही प्रोफेशनल फीस में देखेंगे, ना ही रेंट में देखेंगे, किसी और सेक्शन में नहीं देखेंगे. इन नन ऑफ द अदर सेक्शंस वी विल सी द रेट ऑफ TDS इन what? Points. Because rate of TDS usually will not include H and EC. But friends, will you ask Josh Butler to file income tax return in India? It is so unrealistic expectation. So Shraddha, if they don't collect income tax including health and education cess from payer, then government will never get that H&EC part, because this non-resident sportsman is not going to file ITR in India and pay self-assessment tax. So what government does? Government collects 20.8%, that is 20% plus 4% of 20, which is 0.8, means total 20.8% from payer itself. Agreed? So payee को छुटकारा है अब. Payee does not have to file any return because payee does not have any other income in India. What on other things payee ये deduct होगा tax? It could be an income received out of advertisement which is doing, or out of writing of articles in newspaper. On that also TDS will be at 20.8%. And Prachi, apart from sportsman, this will also apply for entertainer. Okay, entertainer means आपका कौन वो मुंबई में आया था, बहुत हंगामा मचा, जस्टिन बीबर. I don't understand these English things, बस थोड़ा English language बोल लेता हूँ. But Justin Bieber and all I don't understand. But he, in my example, is a entertainer. So on his payment done by his organizers, TDS will be at 20.8%. बस इतना समझता नहीं. मुझे एक माइकल जैक्सन पता है, but obviously he is no more, and एक जस्टिन बीबर पता है, right? And मैं पुराने सॉन्ग सुनता था. क्या होता तो वो विकफील्ड एंड ऑल. यू डोंट नो दिस, राइट? मुझे इतनी खास इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं है उसमें. व्हेन वी हैव ट्रेजर एट आवर प्लेस, वी शुड नॉट गो इन सर्च एट अदर प्लेसेस. ओके, मेरा ज़्यादा टाइम तो भजन सुनने में जाता है. ओके, भजन आरतीज, दे गिव मी पीस ऑफ माइंड. उसमें मैजिक होता है. ओके, so it's everyone's personal choice. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just telling you. Okay, 194 EE. It is payment of deposit under National Savings Scheme. You will get in National Savings Scheme. From National Savings Scheme, you will get some type of interest. If that exceeds 2.5K in a year, देखो ना, मैं आपकी लैंग्वेज बोलने लगा हूँ, मिलेनियल लैंग्वेज. के कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ग्रांट बोलते हैं. ग्रांट बोलने में क्या मजा है? इट इज सो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. 2.5 ग्रांट, यू नो, इट साउंड्स फनी एंड फैंसी. ग्रांट मतलब 1000 को ही ग्रांट बोलते हैं. ओके, एनीवेज 2500, राइट? सो डू TDS at 10%. Then, so not so important. Then comes 194G, again not important. Whichever were important, I have highlighted them. Okay, आपको काम और आसान किया. I have done your work more easy. I have highlighted them, whichever are the important ones. 194G is commission on sale of lottery tickets. If that commission amount received by seller of lottery ticket is exceeding 15,000, then TDS will be at 5%. The point to be understood and remembered is, all the commissions which you have seen, they attract TDS at 5%. Let it be commission on insurance business, let it be commission on sale of lottery tickets, or let it be this commission of 194H. 194H is most important commission. If you want to find out a immovable property for purchase, then you might appoint agent, and that agent will execute and show you the property. And if that property gets finalized, then agent को आपको pay करना है commission. On that we are talking. It's covered in 194H. But obviously, if you are purchasing flat in individual capacity, फॉर रेसिडेंशियल पर्पज, देन डोंट डू TDS. मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा डोंट पे कमीशन, उसका होगा कमीशन तो यू विल हैव टू पे, बट आई एम सेइंग डोंट डू TDS. Agreed? But if it is a business property and as an individual last year your turnover was exceeding 1 CR, or you are in CS practice, CA practice, and it is exceeding 50 lakh, then do TDS at 5% on the commission amount. Agreed? So this is any normal commission, not specifically on brokerage, sorry, not specifically on immovable property. It could be commission on purchase, commission on sales, it could be any commission. But in my opinion 194H will become very important. 194H में threshold limit क्या है? What is the threshold limit in 194H? Did you observe? It's rupees 15,000. Yes, ये बहुत ही कम है threshold limits. Okay, 15,000 और किस चीज में था threshold limit? 194B and 194BB. B and BB are lottery tickets. Betting gambling is B and horse races is BB. But B and BB had what percentage of TDS? B and BB had 30% of TDS. What was percentage of TDS in 194E, which was for non-resident sportsman? It was 20.8%, Prachi, to be precise. Okay, so remember all these things. I am just taking a revision of important points. In 194C, what is the rate of TDS when the payment is done to company, firm, LLP, partnership firm? Very good, 2%. And if it is done to individual or HUF, then it is 1%. Wonderful, very good. So this session is also getting fruitful, huh? Good. Let's go to 194I. It is for rent. 194I is for rent. It could be rent for immovable property or it could be rent for plant and machine. There is a very good threshold limit here, 2.4 lakhs in a year. But point is, from same person, from Ankush, I have taken plant and machine also on rent and immovable property also on rent. Now both together limit is 2.4 lakhs in a year, not individual. But rate of TDS on plant and machine is 2% and on immovable property is 10%. Will you be able to remember this? And most of the section you keep on observing who is kept out as payer. As payer we have kept out individual and HUF, except those individual HUF who have substantial turnover in last year. समझ में आया? 194I, one of very important section. 194I means if I close my eyes and tell you which sections are important, very important, then 194I, 194C, 194A and 192 and 194H, ये इस सीक्वेंस में आएगा इम्पोर्टेंस. And 194BB, B and BB, and then आएगा E. अब देखो J, सॉरी J से पहले IA and IB भी है. What is IA? IA तो सब लोग लाइफ में एनकाउंटर करेंगे. Everyone in life will at some point of time encounter 194 IA when you are purchasing property of which the value is more than 50 lakh rupees. You have to do TDS at 1%. Okay, तो इसमें ऐसा नहीं है. In this Suvetha, there is nothing like that that you have to be individual who is engaged in business, turnover exceeding so and so. ऐसा नहीं है. Everyone should do TDS. Let you be individual, let you be HUF, not carrying on business, purchasing for personal use, still you have to do TDS. TDS will be at what percent? TDS will be at 1%, only 1%. एक nominal है. Why nominal? So that government understands that this transaction is being done. तो जहां पे आपको TDS percentage less दिखेगा ना, wherever you see lesser TDS percentage, whole point behind that is intention of government there is not primarily to collect tax, but intention of government is to know the transaction, is to understand that yes, such transaction has taken place. So when Chaitanya will pay 1% to government of 80 lakhs, amount may be only 80,000. Means in that context I am saying only. No disrespect, but in context of 80 lakhs, amount might be only 80,000. So for builder, tax payable is much more than 80,000. But a nominal amount of 80,000 is collected from Chaitanya so that income tax department understands that builder का income हुआ है. दो चीजें गवर्नमेंट का समझ में आती है. Government understands two things from this. One, Chaitanya's income is so much that he can afford flat of 80 lakhs. Second, builder has done a sale. Builder or the second hand seller of this flat. Flat आपका second hand है तो existing seller, existing owner of the flat. Got the point? Yes? Ankush? Understood? And one more very critical point I will tell you. Whichever other payments are involved, payer needs TAN. What is TAN? Tax deduction and collection account number. But only for 194IA and 194IB, TAN is not needed. Why? Because will Chaitanya purchase properties every year? Probability is less. He might, but probability is less. Got the point? So for that one transaction in lifetime or one transaction in 5 years, government does not want to trouble you with taking out TAN. So on the basis of his PAN, he can deduct tax at source. And there is a चालान कम रिटर्न. मीन्स एक फॉर्म उसको फिल करना होगा. he'll have to fill one form putting his PAN, putting PAN of construction company, putting the value of TDS. That's it. बाकी गवर्नमेंट देख लेगी. समझ में आया? Good. Now comes, friends, 194IB. Very unique section. Very unique section. Darshan is handsomely paid salary / he is handsomely earning business income. So Darshan thinks, let us stay in a flat which is a lavish flat, and his flat's rent is more than 50,000 rupees per month. Got it? How much is his flat's rent? More than 50,000 rupees per month. So now when paying this rent, he will do TDS of 5%. How much? 5%. So you will say that 50,000 per month means 6 lakh per annum. So it is exceeding 2,40,000. But friends, ऐसा नहीं है. I said Darshan is a salaried person, or Darshan is such a businessman whose turnover in last year is not exceeding 1 CR slash 50 lakhs as the case may be. So in short, provision of 194I is not applicable. नॉर्मल जो रेंट वाली प्रोविजन है ना, नॉर्मल प्रोविजन ऑफ रेंट, इट्स नॉट एप्लीकेबल. सो व्हाट विल अप्लाई? 194IB. Why will 194IB apply? Because exorbitant amount of rent is paid. Exorbitant means very heavy amount, fancy amount. Understood Akshata? Understood Pri? Yes, very good. Very heavy amount is paid. What is that heavy amount? 50,000 or more. मजा देखो हाँ. See one issue which I want to tell you. Each month I cannot ask Darshan to do TDS. He will get mad doing TDS each month. देखो ना, दर्शन कोई IT कंपनी में दर्शन. He has nothing to do with finance. You are asking him to do TDS each month. Difficult हो जाएगा. So what is government saying? Government is saying that do TDS at the time of credit of rent for the last month of the PY, or if he is leaving the flat in between, then in that month, whichever is of course earlier. मैं क्या बोलता हूँ? What I am saying, he is paying rent of 60,000 per month for 12 months. So tell me what will be TDS amount in total? 60,000 into 12, 7,20,000 into 5%, 36,000. So Darshan will pay rent of 24,000 to his landlord in the last month, and he will do TDS of 36,000. Agreed? If in this scenario Darshan decides to leave the house in month of December itself, means in end of December, then 9 months into 60,000 on 5,40,000 he will pay at 5%. When? In the month of December, at the time of leaving the house. Wonderful, wonderful. क्या सबको यहाँ तक समझ में आया सब कुछ? This 194IB was one of the critical section. Critical means it was out of the way. So remember this 194IB also. Now friends, going to 194IC. See, what is that? For this, you have to understand one transaction. Transaction is like this. Now, whose example we should take? कौन है rich यहाँ पे सबसे? फाल्गुन. क्या हुआ? What happened? Falgun has a big bungalow. Okay, he has a big bungalow. ये सब assumption से सच भी हो सकता है. I don't know. I'm just taking illustration. So Falgun has a big bungalow, and what happened is it's in a good heart of the city. So one good construction company approached him. That construction company said that if you hand over your bungalow to us, we will give you 10 crore rupees plus 2 flats on the top floor or the floor of your choice. In short, do you agree that Falgun is getting consideration in money terms and also in kind? Yes. अब यहाँ पे the construction company, while making him payment, should do TDS. That is discussed in 194IC. उसको बोला गया है payment under specified agreement referred to in section 45(5)(a). 45 means which had capital gains. ऐसे मत करो, 45 is cap gain, 45 to 55 is cap gain. Any person responsible for paying any sum by way of consideration, not being consideration in kind, under a registered agreement wherein land or building are handed over by owner for development of real estate project for consideration being a share in land or building or both in such project with a part payment of part consideration in cash. Cash means in money terms. That person should do TDS at 10%. समझ में आया? Did you all understand? Transaction is important to be understood. So when that 10 crore rupees was paid na, to Falgun, at that time TDS should be done. Okay, then 194J, हमने फुल डिस्कशन की शुरुआत यहाँ से ही की थी. 194J, it covers, प्राची, प्रोफेशनल सर्विसेज, टेक्निकल सर्विसेज, सिद्धि, रॉयल्टी, नॉन compete fees, directors remuneration. You please count how many things are there, because for each thing threshold limit is 30,000 separately. Means I am getting two things from taxman publication. One is professional fees and second is royalty. Say professional fees is 20,000 in a year and royalty is 60,000. TDS will happen on both or TDS will happen only on royalty? Very good. TDS will happen only on royalty because royalty exceeds 30,000 rupees in a year. Did you all understand? Rate of TDS will be -%, 10%. Okay, and remember one thing, if Aditya is director in one company and is getting sitting fees, no threshold limit. Even 5,000 rupees of sitting fees will attract TDS of 10%. Agreed? And friends, one exception, when professional fees are paid to, yes, any pay which is engaged in business of operation of call center, then TDS will be at 2%, not 10%. Also, in case of fees for technical services or royalty, where such royalty is in nature of consideration for sale, distribution or exhibition of cinematograph films, then also the percentage of TDS will be 2%. Very good. Very good. समझ में आ रहा है ना सब कुछ? Yes. 194K. 194K. देखो 2 साल पहले, before 2 years, as dividend was exempt, even income from mutual fund was exempt, but now it is taxable. So जैसे 194 is covering TDS on dividend, 194K is covering income on units other than in nature of capital gain. Units मतलब units of mutual fund. 5,000 threshold limit है, 5,000 is threshold limit and the rate of TDS is 10%. Agreed, Chaitanya? 194 LA. You have seen yesterday, if government compulsorily acquires your property, then it's a capital gain for you. So government, while making you payment of compensation, has to do TDS. If the property's value which you are getting is, yes, more than 2.5 lakhs. TDS should be at 10%. Agreed, all of you? Now, पक्का ना, समझ में आना सबको? Yes. 194M. What is 194M? Okay, again it is bit awkward section. Okay, बहुत ही मजेदार सेक्शन है. क्या हुआ? प्राची की शादी है, चलेगा ना प्राची? If I take such example, yes, she's smiling, she became happy actually. But you focus on the example. Example is important. उसकी शादी है and her marriage is there and they have given a contract to event management company and the contract amount is 75 lakh rupees. So it's a personal contract. It cannot be covered in 194C, but it gets covered in 194M. They, while making this payment to contractor, will have to deduct tax at source at 5%. Okay, government को पता तो लगे कि who is this Prachi, तो automatically her PAN will go to the government कि she is one spending so much on marriage. Agreed ना? And of course कौन इतना कमा रहा है, which event management company is earning so much, ये भी समझ में आना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट को. That's why this provision. Same thing happens if professional fees or brokerage exceeds 50 lakhs in a financial year. So threshold limit is what, चैतन्य? सीधी सादी छोटी अमाउंट नहीं है. एक साधारण आदमी का 5 साल का पैकेज है 50 लाख, राइट? एग्रीड? वंडरफुल. आदित्य जी, समझ में आया? आज वीडियो ऑफ करके बैठे हो, हाँ ना? उस स्क्रीन में कौन है? वीडियो ऑफ ही किया. यस, जीवित हो ना? निखिल भी जीवित है ना? जीवित है मतलब टैक्स सुनने के. निखिल इज स्लीपिंग. अच्छा, ही इज सेइंग अलाइव. देखो तो, मैंने तो एक जंग छेड़ दी. ओके, अनूप अलाइव हो ना? अक्षता, yes sir. Okay, who is from which city, you tell me? जरा 194N के यहाँ पे जाने से पहले थोड़ा कूल डाउन हो जाओ, बहुत ही सेक्शंस हो गए. Who is from which city? Darshan I know is from Bangalore. Chaitanya I know is from Pune. Baki, who is from which city? Falgun is from Nagpur. Acha, Prachi is from Ichal Karanji. Pri is from Delhi. Shraddha is from Pune. Nishigandha is from Pune. Ankush is from Hospet. Hospet is in Karnataka, right? Suveta is from Tamil Nadu. Won't you like to tell me the city? तमिलनाडु कितना बड़ा है? मैं आऊंगा नहीं घर, टेंशन मत लो. नहीं तो घर आके क्या सवाल पूछूंगा आपसे? नहीं. अच्छा, किसी के सपने में आता हूँ क्या मैं? नहीं नहीं, ऐसे होता था. दिस यूज्ड टू हैपन, यू नो, व्हेन ऐसे रिवीजन बैच करते ना 3-4 घंटे की, एक ही फैकल्टी को सुनते रहते, ओनली वन फैकल्टी आर लिसनिंग. इट डज हैपन that faculty speaks to you in your dreams also. तो ऐसा नहीं होता है ना? ओके, अंकुश, आपके साथ होता है? इट हैपन्स. आई एम टेलिंग यू सम प्रोविजंस इन द ड्रीम. सही बताता हूँ ना? क्रॉस चेक करो. ओके, अच्छा, एक्चुअली सेक्शन कम्स इन योर ड्रीम. वाह वाह वाह, मतलब एकदम अलाइन हो गए अब टैक्स से. अब कुछ दिनों के बाद टैक्स लिखना चालू करोगी, फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर बन जाओगी. गुड गुड श्रद्धा. ऐसा होता ही है, ये होना ही चाहिए एक CA स्टूडेंट्स के साथ. मीन्स यू ऑन द राइट पाथ. नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए आपको मतलब इन अ पॉजिटिव वे. ये कुछ चीजें दिमाग में थोड़ी घूमती है, ठीक है, इट्स नेचुरल। चलो लेट्स गो अहेड। 194N, किसने सिटी नहीं बताई? ये सुवेता ने, सुवेता यू डिड नॉट टेल मी योर सिटी टिल द एंड। चलो रिकॉर्डेड वाला तो क्या कुछ बोलते ही नहीं मुझसे। चेन्नई, ओके ओके ओके, हाँ तो मैं आपके घर आ सकता हूँ, आई कैन विजिट योर होम, आई एम गोइंग टू कम टू चेन्नई सून। ओके जस्ट किडिंग, चेन्नई आने वाला हूँ फॉर श्योर। 194N, कैश विड्रॉवल्स। yes, cash withdrawals. If cash withdrawals during the year is exceeding 1 crore rupees, your own money, but you are withdrawing from bank account, government wants to know who are you. आपकी इतनी हिम्मत कैसे है कि इन डिजिटलाइजेशन एरा यू नीड 1 crore इन कैश? क्या मामला क्या है एग्जैक्टली? गवर्नमेंट वांट्स टू नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द इशू. So they are saying that 2% of 1 crore should be TDS. Means Pre went to bank and gave a withdrawal slip of 1 crore rupees. Bank will give her 98 lakhs. 2% will be TDS. And then bank will deposit that 2% in her income tax account, and bank will give information of her PAN to the government. Now government will send love letter, might send love letter to her. Love letter means notice, scrutiny notice, एक asking explanation. पहले तो आपके पास वो जो पैसा है बैंक में वो वाइट है कि नहीं, सब पूछेंगे. 1 crore you have withdrawn, what you have done with that? Maybe they might ask you. ये बहुत danger transaction है that you are doing. Okay, and see what happens. In case recipient has not filed ITR, means income tax return, for all 3 immediately past previous years, okay, such sum shall be the amount or aggregate of amounts in cash more than 20 lakhs during the PY. 20 लाख के आगे immediately TDS start होगा, not 1 CR. When it exceeds 20 lakh, it will be at 2%. When it exceeds 20 lakhs but does not exceed 1 CR, yes, and if withdrawal exceed 1 CR, it will be at 5%. Agreed? 20 lakhs to 1 CR के बीच में it is 2%, 1 CR के आगे it is 5%. For such special category of person, special मतलब इतने non compliant है लोग कि इन्होंने, they are so non compliant that they have not filed ITR for last 3 years. Very fishy. So 5%, and even threshold limit goes down to 20 lakhs. Okay, so such is this section. Then friends comes a very practical section in today's scenario. 194 what? O. 194 O, very practical section in today's scenario. Do you know that this I had explained you while doing GST. Those who have learned GST from me in main batch, I have explained you that how Amazon or Flipkart is a mall, but that mall is not in brick mortar model, that mall is on cloud. So Prachi wants to sell some jewelry which she has done, imitation jewelry, so she has put it on Amazon so that she get exposure of all India market. Now my question to you friends is very simple. Who will receive money first? If Prachi sells through Amazon, who will receive money first? Amazon or Prachi? Amazon. Very good. Because Amazon has done tie-up with Razorpay. So when I purchase that imitation jewelry, I will pay to Amazon. Afterwards, Amazon will pay to Prachi. What 194.0 says? 194.0 says, whenever payment is done to e-commerce participant is Prachi. And if that payment is of more than 5 lakhs, being gross amount of sales or service in a financial year, so प्राची का ज्वेलरी का सेल कितना हुआ है? Exceeding 5 lakhs in a financial year. Being individual or HUF, and such e-commerce operator has furnished PAN or Aadhaar number to e-commerce operator, then TDS will happen, my dear friends, at 1%. Agreed? Just 1% TDS होगा. Suppose Amazon owes to Prachi 7,50,000 because they have collected this on behalf of Prachi. So 7,50,000 pe TDS will be at 1%. And if Darshan has floated private limited company and it is his first year, तो उसका सेल सिर्फ 2.5 लाख हुआ, still Darshan TDS will come into picture because no threshold limit. 5 lakh threshold limit is only for dash and dash, only if payee is individual or HUF. All of you agreed? No threshold limit if it is person other than individual or HUF. Wonderful. Wonderful. समझ में आ गया सबको? अनूप, did you understand? Those watching recording, did you understand? कौन कौन देखते हैं रिकॉर्डिंग? एक बार मुझे बोलो तो, मुझे व्हाट्सएप करो हाय. ओके, जो रिकॉर्डेड देख रहे हो उनके लिए है ये. चलो, let's go to 194P. But first of all, did you understand till this point all sections? Okay. P and a P. P is not so useful honestly, but still academically we have to do it. Whenever there is such a senior citizen whose age is 75 or more, okay, and he is getting some amount from bank, okay, then bank is told to do TDS equal to tax payable by them. Agreed? बैंक को क्या इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया है? Do TDS equal to tax payable by those senior citizens. फायदा क्या है? What is the benefit? Benefit is that if 194P is being followed, then that senior citizen should not file separate ITR. The way it was in 194E. Okay? But such facility is not there for 192. 192 में employee still has to file ITR. Okay, देखो थोड़ा. And last section in TDS is 194Q. क्यों है ये? नया है ये. It is on goods. First time in history of Income Tax Act there is TDS on goods. Till now there was TDS on professional services, rent, interest other than interest on securities, dividend, units of mutual fund, सब पे था, not on purchase of goods. But first time we have on purchase of goods. Okay, its applicable is threshold limit is 50 lakh rupees. कितनी है? 50 lakhs in a financial year. मतलब सोचो, I have purchased goods from someone I have purchased goods from someone of which the amount exceeds 50 lakhs. Okay, so please note that where purchase exceeds 50 lakhs from a seller, then TDS will be done on purchase, and ये threshold limit नहीं है. TDS will apply on purchase exceeding 50 lakhs. Wonderful, wonderful. And friends, buyer जो है ना, buyer मतलब deductor, because buyer will make payment to seller ना. So buyer whose turnover or sales should exceed 10 crore. मैं buyer हूं ना, मैंने एक जन से परचेस किया 50 लाख के आगे, प्लस माई ओन टर्नओवर इज एक्सीडिंग 10 करोड़. सब याद रखो ठीक से. ओके. एंड what is the rate of TDS? 0.1% of purchases. Of course, purchases exceeding what? 50 lakhs. Yes. Agreed? And friends, जब TCS भी अप्लाई होता है, अब TCS भी देखो, जब TCS भी अप्लाई होता है तो TDS अप्लाई नहीं होगा. TCS इज ऑल्सो देयर ऑन परचेस ऑफ गुड्स. ये देखो दर्शन कंफ्यूज हो गया. TCS इज व्हाट? टैक्स कलेक्टेड एट सोर्स. So who will collect tax at source? Who is paying? Buyer is paying to seller. So if seller is falling under TCS provisions, then friends, then buyer will not do TDS. That is the point. Okay. So देखते इसके एग्जाम्पल्स भी देखते हैं आफ्टर द ब्रेक. एंड सी दिस कॉमन नोट. एक्चुअली आपको जो रेट्स बोले गए ना, वॉट एवर रेट्स आर टोल्ड टू यू, दोज रेट्स आर जनरल. बट जो पे है ना, पे, इफ दैट पे डज नॉट फर्निश पैन, तो वो रेट हो जाएंगे नॉर्मल रेट ऑफ TDS और 20%, whichever is higher. Means I had to pay Prachi's contractor, I had to pay her amount exceeding 1 lakh in a year, so I should have done TDS at 1%. But unfortunately उसने पैन नहीं दिया है मुझे, so I will have to do at 20%. So danger. Agreed? If Darshan wins a lottery but Darshan does not give PAN, then 30%, because 30 or 20 whichever is higher. But ये जो सख्त प्रोविजन है ना, वो थोड़ी कम सख्त हो जाती है for 194O and 194Q, because 194O जो है ना, O in that rate of TDS is 1%. तो 1% के बदले 20 नहीं आता है, 5 आता है. एंड 194Q में 0.1% है ना, तो 0.1 के बदले में क्या आता है? 0.1 के बदले में आता है 5 एंड नॉट 20. सो रिमेंबर, आई नो बहुत हेवी है, बट रिमेंबर ऑल दिस थिंग्स. ओके. सो एज ऑफ नाउ, for this session, I will just minimize this tab. Okay, ask you few questions in next 3 minutes. Then we will take a break of 15 minutes. At 11 we will restart. Okay. See, what I want to ask you. See, or there is one more option which I think is better. We will merge these things, we will merge questions on this in tomorrow's session. That is, in my opinion, better option. Today you go through all these 26 provisions. Tomorrow's agenda we will do is some examples on this, including TCS, yes, as well as advanced tax, calculation of tax liability, provisions of AMT, including provisions of AMT. ओके, तो इन सबको मिसलेनियस इंपॉर्टेंट चीजों को कल कंसोलिडेट करेंगे. मिसलेनियस इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स फ्रॉम इनकम टैक्स वी विल कंसोलिडेट. ओके, सो एज ऑफ नाउ पे अटेंशन. एज यूजुअल क्विज. सो आज एक ही पार्ट हुआ सेशन का, आज ओनली वन पार्ट इज देयर, रिमेंबर. अदरवाइज दोज वाचिंग रिकॉर्डिंग विल सर्च फॉर 8B. सो आज एक ही होगा 8. ओके, एक तो 3 घंटे आई थिंक बहुत ज़्यादा थे, बट एनीवेज क्योंकि रिवीजन होती है तो इतनी हेवी होती है, टाइम पास कम होता है ना, हेवी हो जाता है. ओके, आई एम नाउ गोइंग टू सम क्वेश्चंस विच यू शुड आंसर एज यूजुअल. आपको पैटर्न तो पता है. जस्ट लेट मी come on the screen 100%. Yes. Have you closed the books? Books matlab whatever Excel file and all you have. You have closed that, right? Fastest finger first. First question. Rate of TDS payable or deductible by e-commerce participant, payable for e-commerce participant when payment is done by e-commerce operator to e-commerce participant. 1 lakh. Well done. Second question, for other than individual or HUF, what is the threshold limit when payment is done by e-commerce operator? Friends, googly, there is no threshold limit. If e-commerce participant is individual or HUF, then what is the threshold limit? Then threshold limit is 5 lakh in a financial year. Yes. If that e-commerce participant does not give PAN, then what is the rate of TDS? No, no, no. Just now we discussed 2 minutes back, it is 5%. 194O and 194Q उनको ज़्यादा सख्ती नहीं है ना, उसी प्रपोर्शन में बढ़ना चाहिए ना, तो it is 5%. Remember, perfectly I am putting those questions to you where problem could be created. For 194M, when some personal payment of contracts are involved, or personal payment of professional fees involved, or personal brokerage is involved, then what is the rate of TDS? Very good. 5%. What is the threshold limit? 50 lakhs. Yes. Very good. In 194H, which is for commission, what is the rate of TDS? In commission, I had told you the rate of TDS is 5%. In this case, what is the threshold limit? 15,000 per annum. In case of rent payable under 194IB, what is the threshold limit? 50,000 what? Per month. Nikhil, very good. 50,000 per month. Yes. Darshan, small modification, per month. Prachi, good. Ankush, good. In that same case of 194IB, what is the rate of TDS? 5%. Payable when the property is vacated or last month in the previous year, whichever is applicable, as applicable. which is the section number for winning from lotteries? 194B. Very good. 194B. Okay. What is the threshold limit for dividend which is paid in cash? Cash means in money terms. Very good, Nikhil. No limit. Very good, very good. If I am as a bank paying interest to senior citizen, what is the threshold limit? It is rupees 50,000. Very good. Well done. If as a businessman I am paying interest to any person, then what is the threshold limit? Then threshold limit is 5,000 per annum. We are talking about section 194A, interest other than interest on securities. If payment of sitting fees is being done to director, then what is the threshold limit? No threshold limit. If payment of rent is being done, what is the threshold limit? Payment of rent, threshold limit is 2,40,000 in a financial year. Okay. Payment for professional fees, fees for technical services, royalty, non-compete fees. What is the threshold limit? 30,000 per annum for each category of payment. That is important, for each category of payment. What is the rate of TDS on rent if the rent is for plant and machine? 2%. If the rent is for building, 10%. Wonderful. So did you understand? I would request you that go through entire 26 provisions in TDS once again. Okay, try to grasp it, try to remember it. I am giving you next 1 hour. Before sleeping, you do that. Yes, and of course also let me know how you found the session. Okay, tomorrow will be last day. After that we'll come up with some new series also. Of course, for CS professional tax, it is already announced that from 24th November to 1st December, 8 days daily, 3 hours night, 7 to 10, we will take the revision. Of course, recordings of the same will also be given. For CS executive, we are planning MCQ series. Okay, so yes, we are planning these series. And for CA intermediate, some topics which are critical but which we could not cover in these 9 days, we will take special sessions for CA intermediate also. So this way, for different students, we have different series coming up. Okay, so thank you very much. Keep on posting your doubts on my WhatsApp. I try to reply the doubts within a cycle of 24 hours. Okay, my support will always be there to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.